Some weird guys at the door.
Hey, Steve. Hi, Ben.
I don't know if you want to be like, have me isolated or.
Okay.
You want to?
Yeah. I'm an open book, man. Like.
You are, but until you start talking about your other businesses and things like that, it'll go
So let's start talking. Yeah. You know, I've got 2 little kids. In a personal way, like those are the things that keep me up at night, right? Is taking care of those kids and being sure that they're happy and healthy. You know, I think as a creative, there's a lot of pressure to do things new and different and that haven't been done before. I'm sure I'm not alone in feeling that I'm inadequate that way. Like being able to come up with new ideas and innovative ways to tell a story that haven't been done before is really stressful. Is what we're doing something that's going to really get the attention of our audience?
You know, sometimes the only way you can learn is just falling right on your face. It's gonna happen.
What's up? Lake Brown. Is this Cribs?
Yeah. My lifelong pursuit has been having people understand the value of creative work. Do creatives have a personal life?
I think we try to.
You know, working with other people, CMOs or whatnot, that are like scrambling, that, you know, calling at 12:30 at night and saying, hey, I need this deck, I'm doing this presentation tomorrow, I'm doing that and this, and, you know, last minute, everything is always last minute. And that's the unfortunate, I think, nature of the beast. Saying no has probably been the hardest thing that I've had to learn. And having designers, creatives saying like, well, why? Start with why. Say, okay, why do you need this? Why are we doing this? I want to make sure it's going to succeed and be valuable. I don't want to do it and just have it just throw away. Or make empty promises that, hey, if you do this for me, we'll get this deal done, or we'll get this, or we'll get that, which hardly ever happens. Ever happens.
When I was a kid, I was one of those kids that drew all the time, and I loved it, and I always did design, and I always was creating things. And then I kind of went through this period in my life where I'm like, okay, you need to like get a serious job and be a real adult. And so I was going to go to law school, right? Because there's like doctor, lawyer, you know, accountant. Those are like the 3 really like safe, good jobs. And I went to school and I worked at a law firm, and I hated it. And I kept going back to art, and I kept going back to design. And every attorney I talked to, they're like, don't do it. Like, don't do it, it's awful. And then one day I'm just like, why don't I just keep doing this? And as soon as I allowed myself to grab on to what I knew that I wanted to do, it just kind of took care of itself. We have a centrally managed creative services org for the whole company, and we have 3 designers, a copy and editorial manager, and a PR manager. I think our biggest deficiency right now is that we don't have a studio manager. My team is constantly checking Slack, you know, managing a lot of their own projects inside of Asana, and we're not giving them a lot of time for that deep think. And when they have it, a lot of times they're running from the office, right? It's, okay, work from home today, or go sit in this, you know, office that no one knows about. And we kind of have to silo people and hide them in order to get them to work. Yep. For a while, I got hung up on, you know, like, am I creating my personal brand enough? And then all of a sudden, I'm just like, oh my God, what is a personal brand?
Nothing.
It's nothing. I'm like, this is just life, and you're living it. And if you're lucky enough to be a designer, then just do good work.
So at Adobe, we have a pretty spread out group. I manage about 40 people, 10 offices, 2 countries. I've got people in Canada, LA, Denver, San Mateo, San Francisco, San Jose, Lehigh, Boston. But the reality, I think, of creative work is messy, especially as you become more and more strategic partners. It's really hard to be a strategic partner when you're expecting people to fill out a form. Not a terribly great way to build relationships. And so we realized that we have to think differently and have some sort of a blend. So it really comes down to who's doing the work. Trying to make sure that all of those people are getting the good, solid direction that they're getting across all those different teams and all of our different lines of businesses is a pretty overwhelming task. I think things that drive me the most crazy is when we thought we had the right strategy and that we've been well down a road and we spent considerable amounts of money and time. Only at the 11th hour to have someone swoop in and tell us that we were off and that something was was wrong, which usually has nothing to do with the work the team did. That drives me crazy. Not having the right information up front, which usually comes from poor briefs because people want to get started. One of the things I've always said is that the artifact of a strategist is a brief. People love to be strategic. I mean, who wants to not do strategic work? To do strategy well means you have to clearly and coherently document what's going to happen. And I think that's way hard. And so I think people would way rather jump into execution where they brief the creative team and we get started, we just start making stuff so that they can react to stuff that's in progress rather than doing the hard work up front of actually getting the story straight. So what am I not doing as a leader to make sure that my team has the right inputs and the right guidance so that they're doing great work? And that's been the puzzle of my career. And so I'm 15 years in, I still don't have the answer for it.
You know that moment where you get feedback from someone or a client, or you get an email and it's like, this person has left a comment on your document. Nothing sends me into more of a panic than that moment. I just assume that I'm fired. It's over. The whole agency is done. Everything is over. I will spend the next 3 hours of my life making sure that client's happy, that I fix it in whatever way I can. I'm a little bit neurotic in that way.
The creative process is often messy and the stars aren't always aligned and there's stuff.
Sometimes there's a football game happening during your video.
Exactly. Ducks. And look, we can use this as part of the video.
Awesome.
This is exactly what it is. We spent most of this winter with our noses down, just working hard, trying to build something. So we started doing a Friday tradition that we just called Ham and Jam. We just hang out, we open up a bottle of wine, and we just go hard as a motherfucker on some creative ideas.
Yeah.
Just whiteboard, writing stuff out, video shoot, planning it. If it's a song that we gotta write, we mess around with the song. If it's a podcast episode we wanna do, we record a podcast episode, but we just hang out and let the creativity exist for the sake of creativity and not for an outcome.
You're putting yourself out there when you're creating work, and even if there's a layer of a brand in between it, it's still kind of your creativity and your heart on that piece of paper or whatever.
Use any tools to help
Yeah.
understand You're a little bitch. I'm sorry, my lav mic just fell.
We do a ton of creative work, and that actually about a third of my team's in Boston. So there's another added complexity, team vibe and harmony and dynamic with everybody is super important, something that we really actively invest in. And I think what we've done to get really good video conferencing solutions, as well as our annual team retreats that we do, a lot of that stuff about just building relationships has really paid off, and so the collaboration is actually really good.
Let's film the walk, and then we can just casually
Let's do it. Thanks for hanging out with us. Do you want me to keep walking?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm following you, so
Okay,
you guys
okay. I'm always thinking about people. Those are the things that keep me up. How is the team feeling? How is so-and-so feeling in this interaction I had with them today? How was I feeling in that interaction? Are people working well together? Are we structured so that we can give people the opportunities that we're trying to give them? And is it all going to be enough? I've got a little airplane, and it's like an escape. It's like this whole other world that is so wholly unrelated to what I do when I'm at work. It's very freeing, and it has this really emotional feeling for me, but it is still very methodical and very analytical. I would expect that to not be stressed and not be thinking of work, it would maybe have to be none of those things. But somehow it's all of those things that make it very freeing because there's so much to be doing and focusing on and thinking about. I mean, when you lift off the ground, it's like the most amazing feeling in the world.
You mentioned meditation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I think I just have an eyelash.
Fun eyelash.
Yeah. Just love airplanes so much.
Really. This is so cool. Okay, this is what I remember seeing.
I just lay on the floor as you ask me questions.
Is there anything you want to tell a room of creatives?
Yes.
Anything you want to tell them?
Yes. the thing I want to tell you is that you have to show the world the work you want to create. That is my bottom line. You have to do that because it's one of the biggest things I learned from doing murals. As soon as I start doing murals, everyone wants to hire me to do murals, but it's not really what I want to spend my time doing. And I think I have to show the world what I want to do in order to get the work I want. Up until probably a few months ago, I would say yes to everything. Like, if you come to me and you want to do something, I'm down. I'll find time. Like, I will make it happen. But I've finally gotten to a point where I'm like hitting a burnout point, and I feel like I need to start setting boundaries so that I can reach like the next level of what am I aiming toward? Why am I doing my 5th mural? Do I even want to be doing murals? At this point, it comes down to what do I actually want to spend my time doing, because I'm realizing I want to spend more time with myself, so I have to say no to more things. It's just being more real with myself, being more like, I don't want to do that, actually. Like, I'm so sorry. But if I'm being real and honest, you just know. Like, I feel like I throw my whole body at projects, so like, if I'm gonna throw my whole body at your thing, it better be something that is calling my name. Like, it's just, we're so connected. There's no longer the rules of like, you don't call after 9 o'clock. Like, that's not there anymore. You can always be reached by someone 50 different ways. And so I think if you don't set your own rules and your own boundaries, people are gonna walk all over it, and you're gonna walk all over yourself because people can't shut it down. So I think rules for yourself that you can keep are vital. My boyfriend has to tell me like, baby, go relax. Like, because I don't know how to shut it down. Like, yeah, I need permission to stop. Like, I mean, like, legitimately, it's got, like, I'm no master. But I think it is important, like, to follow those rules that you have set. Absolutely.
You know, creativity is, I think, you know, the manifestation of, you know, no matter what the tool you use, it's just a tool. But it's like, what's the story? What's the impact? What's the value you're trying to communicate?
The good part of that is often most of my like best ideas come when I'm, you know, up at night and my brain's running at 1,000,000 miles an hour. That's usually when things get figured out.
We're expected to be multitasking all day, right? Even if it's just like checking like Slack really quick, a notification pops up, email pops up, like someone swings by like, hey, can I grab a sticker for so-and-so? It's always just little things like that. But it completely breaks down any sense of like being able to think deeply about something.
You know, work is rewarding, but work is super stressful. So I think peace is family and peace is entertainment, and I think it's harder and harder to do those. So I think it requires some, you know, very intentional focus to make sure that we can spend time on what matters.
But to me, it's really just understanding who people are and why they are, and that makes a lot of difference.
Nothing's too important to like lose sleep over. Like, you're so important to like, you are an important person to take care of.
Do you agree? Who are you waving at? Do you see Mom?
If she could just crap her pants right now, all over
It's just,
that'd be perfect.
and then I just go, yep, yep.